Welcome back. So we've have a fully running environment, but it's all running as an accessible by an administrator, and it's actually the Altiris account that I've created. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and tackle, which it's actually a big chore, um, security, custom web parts, custom views, giving rights. So the first thing we're going to do, if you noticed, I already had users. So you know what I'm going to do is we have to do, so you have to plan out your Active Directory groups and whatnot. So you're going to have your users. In my test lab, I've created one per OS. So let's go ahead and give this a shot. So if we do test lab admins, global group, security group, test lab admins, we're going to add, let's take a look who we have here. We have the Altiris account. All right, so Altiris, Jeff, Symantec. They're the ones we're going to add. Jeff, Symantec, Altiris. All right. So look at that. So there's that. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make Windows 8 user a report user. We're going to do Windows 10 guys as patch. Okay. So next thing we want to do, so we already have the one group created. We're going to do new group test lab reporters. Okay. While we're at it, new group test lab patch admins. All right. So the patch admins, we said we're going to be Windows 10, which are 10, okay, which start with 10, so let's do that. Members, add 10. We'll add both of these. They're the patch admins. Now we said the reporter was going to be the Windows 8 user. So now that in Active Directory we have these set up, that's the first step, right? You always have to deal with setting up your users. You don't want to just take a group that has 50 people in it and say, well, 3 of them in there are going to be Altiris admins. We'll just use that group. Because what's going to happen? Now, you can do this manually one at a time. But once again, why would you do that? As employees come and go, people get added, removed, you'd have to manually do it. So what we're going to do on the Altiris server, we're going to log in and bring up the console. Alright, so we have a little bit of room here. Let's see if we change resolution. See if this will work this time. Alright, that's a little better. Okay. So, now we're logged in, right? And we have Altiris up. So what you want to do is go to Settings, Security, Account Management. Now, there are things called roles. Roles, you can use what's here. You can use Symantec admins. You can use, I think I have a patch portal, patch management, admins, and rollout. So you can use these. Now, I'll give you an example. Your administrators. Let's say you have a need to not allow them have something. Okay? And I'll give you an example. So, if you were to clone Symantec administrators, test lab administrators, okay, Test Lab admins, right? They have everything over here, right? We just let all that good and go. Now, with this, the next step is you need users inside there, members, right? So, Test Lab administrator, okay, we already have this. I'm going to remove this guy because we don't want him in there. Member of everyone group, that's fine. Now, if you wanted to take items away from the administrators, I know, administrators, you think, well, you know, they're already admins. Where I'm at, we currently, due to QA, we have to have a retention on data, so we cannot purge. So we are required to purge the ability to purge from the admins. Even though we know the app ID, doesn't matter, right? We can log in with the app ID and take care of it. So what we're going to do is go Test Lab Administrators is highlighted, and you can do all items, right? You'll see everything they have. Now, Settings, Notification Server, you come down, Purge Maintenance. What happens if we take that away? It disappears. So, Security Role Manager, this is what the people see, right? This is what you want. This is what you want to understand and what you want them to do. I'm not going to do the tutorial on cloning, say, guest and then fully given rights. I might. It depends where this is going to go. This is unplanned. I'm just setting up my lab just to play around. So let's see what we got. Now, I just showed you. You can clone and take an item away, right? Now, we haven't tried logging in yet, so we will. And we come back over here. So that's Test Lab Administrators. I'm going to go ahead and use, is there a report? We're going to use Patch Management Administrator. Stay on page. Save. We're going to use Patch Management Administrators. I don't think there's a report. Alright, so we're going to get clone guest test lab report users. I said we weren't going to, but you know what? We are, but we're not going to modify it. We'll do clone, test, lab, patch, administrators. Now, you need to get users in here. Alright, so if we have this, right, we come over, member of, still just the everyone group, members, add member. Add account, add role. But we don't want to add a role. We want to add an account. Well, look, there's nobody in here. So you can go to accounts and you can sit here and you go add test lab Symantec. And there it is, right? You enable it. We're going to copy this. That's why I did it that way. Full name, Symantec. We're going to do add credentials, Windows, Test Lab Symantec. There it is, right? This is all you got to do. And we can sit here and go, you know what? We're going to make him a member of Test Lab Administrators. And don't forget, you can search in the corner. See? So Test Lab Administrators, right? We could do this. Now, let's say you got 45 people in your Altiris team. Yeah, you got report users, you got software delivery people, you got the help desk, you got patch admins, you got overall admins. It gets cumbersome, so we're not going to save this, right? We're going to delete this guy. The way you want to do it is you want to import AD. So discover Microsoft Active Directory, and wait for that to come up. Now these rules, you can import a lot of things. Import computers, users. So what we're going to do, this one, actually that that gets ran. So import role and account, right? So from test lab, from let's see, test lab. Let's try that. Find. Look at that. We'll take these three, add them, perform on a schedule. Now, you can leave it like this to do an update and do a full. What'll happen is any new people, but let's say somebody gets hired on a Monday, and I never showed you where the where the shared schedules are. So shared schedules, you can define default. They have these here, right? Hourly, half hourly, daily, monthly, all this stuff. You can create your own. You can create bi-weekly, patch Monday, patch Tuesday, whatever you want. So you can critique this. We're just going to enable it because we're going to run it. And what will happen is on that schedule, let's say John starts on a Monday, and it's approved through the system to have him added to the Altiris Admins group. He's not going to be there until his job runs. So you can have one of your admins come in, check, it's already been checked off. He can highlight this and run an update. An update will just go out. It'll run against these groups and just bring in whoever is not there. A full will clean. So if you had people removed, they will come out of there. All right, so we're going. All right, just do a refresh. It's done. A little check over here. Save the changes. Now, since we imported Active Directory, let's go back to Settings, Security, Account Management. Let's take a look. If we go to Accounts, look at this, right? We didn't have to do anything. And look, they're already a member. Okay, so this is nice. They're already a member. Now, there is a trick, and it took me a while to figure this out. What we found out is if you change permissions here or rename this, well, if you rename these, it breaks. Our SOPs, our standard operating procedures, lists out not using these Active Directory AD imports groups for rights. So what we're required to do is we have cloned admins, report users, and stuff. They house all the rights. So we come down here and look at that. By default, there's no rights. That's good. You don't want any rights at all on these. Now what you want to do, Test Lab Admins is a member of, add Test Lab Admins, save, patch admins, member of, patch admins, save, report, add, and you can scroll, report users, or you can search. Okay. Now, right off the bat, we have rights. I'm going to show you. So let's bring up our Windows 8. While that's going, I'm also going to bring up one of my Windows 10 just to log in. Okay. So this is John. He just started. We tell him to go to Altiris, and he gets an email. He logs in, right? Manage, computers, We need Silverlight. Aha. So that's that. But my point is, he already has access. If you remember the other day, my Windows 7, we did not add this user. He should not, and that's what we want to see. So we come here. It's asking for credentials. Let me just double check something. Ask me later. Tools, Internet option, security, custom level, prompt. No, right. We want to get away from that. We want to do this. Close out. Bring it back up. You know, we might be logged in as Jeff. We're not logged in as Win 7. But as you see, home, first time setup, that's on the Windows 7. Logged in as Jeff, who is an administrator. Let's go to the Windows 8 home. Look, he doesn't have it. First time is gone. Patch management. Alright. So, just so I remember, members, W8 user is just a reporter. Now, if you know, so now what you notice, he has too much. He can, let's see if he can download patches. No, but he can view a lot. Do you want your report user to have all this? No, definitely not. So that's one thing. We need a custom page for this guy. For the Windows 10 guy, let's go ahead and I see in our Explorer. Where did that's for some reason this machine lost Edge. That's fine. Altiris, manage computers. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and install Silverlight. Give me a sec. Okay, so I got it installed, and I have Silverlight installed on 2 of them. For now, we're going to take the easiest one out of the bunch, right? So admins we don't have to touch. Patch admins we do. It's middle work. Report users. We want nothing but reports, right? So, if we go back to our report user, and forgive me, I don't have it written down. Let's go take a look. Report users, members, was our Windows 8. Okay, so this Windows 8 guy, he doesn't have rights to computers, doesn't have rights to this, but look, it's here. Why? He doesn't need this, right? So let's change this. So look in here, go home, he has patch management, you go actions, software, patch management remediation should be here. Alright, so we don't need any of this stuff in here. Well, maybe policies, but so anyway, what we want to do is we want to go back to the Altiris server. Or from another one that's an admin. So let's say here, because it's a bigger screen. Let's see what happens. All right. So what you want to do is you want to edit this menu. So go settings, console, and here's everything for the console. Okay. So console menus. If you see, look at this, right? We have all this stuff in here. So what we're going to want to do, we could do a couple things. Well, I was talking about patch. But this guy is a report user. Now we can leave the reports for him, but why bother? To me, it's easier to do something totally different, right? Compress these. If you look, there's a sessions here, right? reset log off. There's all these. Yeah, you see, you can hide that. What we're going to do is new menu. Okay, so the top is going to be test lab roles. Yeah, that's fine. We'll save it. Under test lab, look, we have test lab roles. So we have a menu item. Let's go ahead, click on this, and we're going to call this test lab report users. Now we can show a view, we can show different things. So for now we're just going to say nothing because this is the first part we need. Test lab roles, test lab report users. Now you can have multiples. Now home, properties, we right click in properties, security, okay, advanced, and this tells you who sees it, right? So this has a lot of accounts, a lot of groups and whatnot. So we want to limit that. I am cheating. I actually have a Word document on a second monitor that I used for other things. So I'm just scrolling through it just to get this right. I knew I forgot something. All right, so this is, you need to do this, but if you notice when we came down to test lab and we clicked here, it was showing nothing. So we actually had a step before that. When you want to do this, you go to console. They need a view, okay? So you go to views. Here's all the views out there. So let's go ahead, new view. We're going to call this test lab report users view. All right. We're going to save this. Okay. Right click, edit view, which we were already here. So you could display portal pages. You could show other things. You can create your own. But let's see if they have anything. Software, patch management. Here we go. Let's add this. Say OK. Now, if we go back to settings, console, menus, we click the test lab, and we want to show a view. And we're going to say test lab report users view. Say save. Now you can test this out. If you're an admin, you can test this. Here we go. Here's what they get. See? So this is just patch reports. What if you wanted more? You go back. So yeah, it's a trial and error. You figure out what you want them to have. So let's go back to the view. Here's the view. And we're going to edit the view. We're actually going to delete this. And what we're going to do is under reports, I don't care if they have everything. You know what? Actually, we will do this. Can we delete individually? No. All right. So if there's certain things you don't want them to have, so let's say we will give them IT analytics. Delete reports. We want them to have software application metering. And we want them to have patch. And that's it. That's all we want them to have. We hit OK. There we go. There we go. See? They have them. Now, if we refresh this guy, he has the role. When you click on it, it still has everything else. You have to click this. We still have to give rights. So We didn't get that far. We just set it up and it works as admin. So we have the console menu. Now we have to do the security. So let's do security permissions. Test lab reporters. Views. Web parts. Say they have no access. Okay, so what report users need is they need rights to data. So data, you'll see, data classes. So we do all items. They have nothing. All data classes, nothing. So what we want to do is we want to come in and we want to do all items, add. Okay. Settings, notification server, and resource and data classes. Data classes. We want them to have all these. So we'll do this. Say OK. Refresh. There we go. Now, that's the first part. At the top level, data classes. Five. Test lab. Oh, right, once again, run the wrong one. I come in here. They still don't have access. They still don't have rights specifically. So let's go settings, console, menus. Properties. Security. We still have to do security, I believe. And once again, it gets a little tricky. I messed up here. So let's come in here. And we actually want to go all items. Show hidden. Refresh. Find. So we do not want to give rights here. I actually messed that up. Trying to settings. Supposed to be a pencil here. We're supposed to edit with. Let me. Yeah. So let me figure out why. So what we're supposed to do, if you remember, is not supposed to be any rights applied down there. We're supposed to go up here. Test lab report users. Now if you notice, they have access to this. We want to do this. Data classes. Oh, we want to add them all. Say OK. We want to give them read. We don't want them to create children. Read. So read and read resource data. Hit save. Let's give that a try. No. Alright. Alright, well, if you look at the clock, you'll see it's a lot later. A buddy of mine just called and we were just talking and chatting about tons of different things. Techie, geeky, network and stuff. Firewalls and all that stuff. Anyway, I am noticing I'm missing a pencil. There's supposed to be a pencil here. I know it. I don't know why it's not here. Because what I'm looking at is if I go to report users and I go all items. I got reports, which I want, but I don't want these. Okay? I don't want all this either. So I want the resource and data classes, but I don't want the other items. Which the pencil, you would click and then you can get rid of stuff. I don't know how to get rid of it right now, but to remove permissions from the child items. So anyway, I did also poke around while I was talking with him. I did figure it out. So this guy here, Let's go in. Let me get off of this. Okay. Oh, now he has it. So what I had to do is back over here. You have to go to Settings, Console. No, wait, I'm sorry. It's going to be back at the permissions. So it's all, because it said access denied. And right, so I couldn't remove it to come back to the tutorial to show you. So on this, you have to go to Console menu. You have to come through here. And I gave read permissions. That was it. See, I don't have read permissions anywhere else, but I gave read permissions here. Actually, you know what I can do? Save. Come over. It's still, let's see if it's cached. Let's close and go back in. Alright, it's still working. So, yeah. It's missing the pencil. I can't do what I wanted to do. So, alright, so we'll give this read again. But I can't remove the other items now, which is driving me crazy. See? Alright, what happens if we get rid of it there at the top level? Oh, see? Actually, look, I got rid of the menu. We still have home, patch management, session log off. Now we go to home, patch management. So this is a report user. Alright, let's get rid of that. Save. Come back. Refresh. There we go. All they have is their session log off. And they have the reports that we told them that they can have. One thing I did notice, and I will show you, is, let's go down here. Let's add this. So originally, the first time a user in a department that's in an AD group, when they launch Altiris, it comes up to a weird page. I mean, it's always different. It'll have items. I have to have them click here and then click on this once, and then it refreshes like that, and then they're good to go from then on. Alright, so that was report user. I'm going to have problems trying to get the patch admin because I don't have the pencil. I don't know what's going on. I got to look into that. So I can't remove certain things. Let's go to patch administrator. Let's go to console menu. Actions. Take a look. We don't want that. There's patch remediation center. We want them to have that. We do not want them to roll out agents. Save. Actions. Home. My portal will let them have. Patch management they can have. Manage. No separator. And as you notice, stuff disappears. That's how you know what they have access to and what they don't. Computers, jobs, tasks, filters. Policies. Organizational views. Manage resource. Reports. And we'll let them have reports. Settings. We don't want them to have. All settings. So we'll take that off. Now if we go and save it, if we go back to AD, the patch admin should have been Windows 10, right? Yep, Windows 10. So let's go back to our 10 box. Alright. And if you notice, I haven't logged out yet either. We're going to refresh this page. So things happen on the fly. So they have session, reports, actions, software, patch remediation, my portal, patch management, and they still have access to add things. Oh, okay. So we'll add that here and save. So their portal can take them straight here because we are logged in as a Windows 10, which Patch Remediation Center is also here. It gives them some other things I don't like. Let's see. They can click it, but they can't change it. See, I don't want them to have rights to this. So see, setting up a user can be a pain if you're in a lockdown environment. So this was the console menu. Let's go back to all items. This is under policies. Let's go take a look. So policies, test lab. Alright, so it's inherited. So let's do this. We're going to want them to have access to policies, software, patch. So we're going to say save, software, patch. Okay. Refresh. There we go. That's all they have. So we were able to get rid of it. Under policies, under reports we're good. So okay, so this is how we can clean it up. Under resource management, filters, we're going to have to go all items, resource management. Here we go. We want them to run and save reports. We don't want them to write system properties or read. Save. Filters. Look at that. I'm not sure why they still have filter unchecked. Let's do checked. Might be further down. Read. Oh, wait. Let's take a look. Alright, well, we don't care about that. There we go. That's why. We don't care about that. See, we didn't clone and remove everything. We cloned patch, and that's the things they gave them. So we come over here, settings, agents, plugins. Alright, now, even though in their menu they don't have access, if they can somehow get a link or something, they would have access. We don't want them to have that. Okay? And if you notice, we are missing console menu. Oh, they don't have a custom console menu. Correct. Alright, so patch administrators. We did the console menu for report users. So let's go back to all items. We want them to have, we don't want them to have this. So take the software library out. We want them to have patch, task. See, it's just a pain. Yeah, you just got to clean up. Alright, we'll let them have that. Right click menu. Yeah, right click is, see, there's a lot of stuff in here we don't want them to have. Resource data class, resource types, we'll leave these. hierarchy replication, read, write, save, console settings. So you get the idea. You have to figure out what you want them to be able to do. And, okay, so it's grayed out. So if you notice, it was grayed out. You gotta go up. All right, here we go. Clone, read, write, save. Took a lot out there. Okay, software, patch. I don't want them to distribute the plugin. It's not their job to do that. So we're going to check those. There we go. So I'm going to leave these down here. But you get the idea. Come over here. We refresh. Here's their reports. They're locked down. They can run reports. They can come over to patch remediation, or they can do patch management from here. They can take, right click, distribute. Yeah, that's what we want them to do. That's their job. That's it. So that's pretty much permissions. So that was permissions. It was importing accounts, setting up accounts. It was actually a good amount of stuff covered there. I hope that did a little something. So hope you got something out of it.